Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Net podcast number 1785. Woo, to catch a thief from 1955. But before we get started, we do have a sad news today because actor Donald Sutherland passed away today at the age of 88. Now, I have grown up with this guy on small screens, big screens, TV shows, TV movies, big screen movies over the years. Some people will know him from as President Snow from the Hunger Games. Those were not movies that I got involved with. If they were on TV, Brad would watch them. I would just sort of like semi-watch them while he watched them. And of course, he was very good in that. And he's very good at... His characters are very good. The characters I like from his are ones that are very sneaky and devious, and he just sort of had that way about him that he could, he just had that way about him. But he was a really cool actor, and two roles that stick out in my mind about him that I will always remember him for are one's my favorite. One is a favorite movie. It's got Sean Connery in it. And the other one was actually a TV series that lasted one season. And I'm really bummed that it only lasted one season because it was a really good TV series that actually won a couple of Grammys. And I'm like, Golden Globes, not Grammys, Golden Globes. And I'm sort of like, and they got a whole bunch of nominations and everything else. And I'm like, why did they cancel it after one season? But the movie with Sean Connery was The Great Train Robbery that came out in 1978. It was loosely based on the real Great Train Robbery that took place in 1855. And the movie was written and directed by Michael Crichton. Crichton, however you want to say that. Really cool movie. And Donald Sutherland was brilliant in this movie. I absolutely love him in this movie, especially when they paint him up to look like a dead person. It's a really cool movie, and he has to be sneaky and in this movie as well. And then in Commander-in-Chief, which, like I said, only lasted one season. It was early 2000s, I think, like 2005. Maybe it was 6 or 7. It was somewhere around that mid 2000 time frame. And he played the Speaker of the House. I don't remember what the character's name was. I just remember him being Speaker of the House, and there's some other role he had and some other role that his character had as well. But I always remember him. And if you haven't never seen Commander-in-Chief, it only lasted one season, but it had a female vice president. The president dies unexpectedly. The vice president gets put into, of course, becomes the president. And they were actually, and the president was actually trying to kick the woman out of her VP role at the time. And if anything happened to him, he actually wanted it to go to the Speaker of the House, which was Donald Sutherland's character. So now Donald Sutherland has got the Commander-in-Chief, which is played by Gina Davis. And he's now scheming to bring her down and to get her out of that role. Because he says, the president, I don't remember what the president's name was in that TV series, didn't want her to have that role, which is why he was trying to force her out of her role as vice president. And he actually wanted Donald Sutherland's character to get it. And so there's a lot of scheming and backstabbing and all that sort of stuff going on. He was absolutely brilliant in that role. And he's been in a lot of other roles as well. I remember him in The Mechanic with the British guy, Jason Statham. Absolutely brilliant in that. And he only had a small part in that role, but in that movie, but really good. So, R.I.P. Donald Sutherland, and thank you for sharing your incredible talent with us all over the years that you have been on the big screen, the small screen, and everything in between. So totally got bummed by that news today, but he was 88, and he gave a lot to the entertainment industry. So thank you for that. Now, on to some better news. To Catch a Thief, filmed in the summer of 1954, but not released until 1955. And you're going, okay, that seems to be a long time. Yeah, it was. It was actually supposed to come out towards the end of 1955, but because of the age gap between Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, Alfred Hitchcock actually pulled back and said, I don't think it should go out because of the age difference and things. And so he finally released it in the summer of 1955 to great applause, and everybody absolutely loved that movie. It's actually in one of the top 100 romance movies of all times on a list that came out in like 1922. Sorry, 2022. I think it was 2022. It came out on the list of top 100 romantic movies. This movie I had not seen it before. Absolutely loved this movie. And I kept like looking for different things. And it was filmed in the south of France because reportedly Alfred Hitchcock actually wanted to take a vacation in the south of France. So decided to film a movie while he was there. The write-offs you could get as a director. It was during the filming of this movie, as we talked about last night, during the filming of this movie that Grace Kelly met Prince Rainier of Monaco, and they got married in 1956. She didn't actually fall in love. It wasn't love at first sight for her. And he actually ended up writing a lot of letters to her, but they had a lot of correspondence and ended up getting married in 1956. So some other trivia from this movie. If you're watching the movie, look out for the cameo of Alfred Hitchcock. He's one of those directors that likes to be in his movies. And in this one, Cary Grant's character, John Roby, has escaped from the police on a bus. And he's sitting on the back of the bus, and he looks to his right, and there's a bird cage there with a woman on the other side, and there's some birds in the bird cage. And he looks to his left, and Alfred Hitchcock is just sitting there staring straight ahead. No expression on his face. If you have a look on my Facebook page, when I posted the pictures from the movie last night, you'll see a picture of him there. And now, another neat piece of interesting trivia on this one. I've actually got some really cool bits in this. In this movie, Jesse Stevens, the character Jeffy Stevens, is played by Jesse Roy Landis. In To Catch a Thief, she is actually... And To Catch a Thief, she's playing Cary Grant's potential mother-in-law. And in North by Northwest, which happens to be the movie that we are watching tonight, and we'll get to that in a minute, and that movie came out in 1959, so 4 years after To Catch a Thief, she plays Cary Grant's mother. And she's less than 8 years older than Cary Grant. So just amazing. But during this movie... Alfred Hitchcock wanted, during To Catch a Thief, he wanted the chase scenes to be filmed from a helicopter, which required ingenuity because camera mounts for helicopters did not exist for that purpose at that time. And so they found this helicopter. It was a Skorsky S-51, and they removed the side door. This is a quote from the trivia from the making of. The camera was jerry-rigged with ropes, wires, and cables. The shots were done in July of 1954, and the shots were done in July of 1954. So if you ever see that and you've got the DVD, go have a look at the extra bits because it's very interesting, some of the hype behind-the-scenes stuff that's in there. So that's what I've got for you for To Catch a Thief. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Kind of sort of didn't really know who was the copycat or if it actually was John Roby's character that had come out of hiding, but pretending to be framed. There was also that rumor going around in there too. So it kind of keeps you guessing a little bit. I did sort of kind of guess the ending when a certain incident happened. I thought, oh, I wonder if it's that person. I got part of it right, but mostly wrong. But in North by Northwest, which we're watching tonight, it's another Alfred Hitchcock movie. I totally did not realize I'd scheduled back-to-back Alfred Hitchcock movies. What can I say? I absolutely love this film, North by Northwest. It is one of my favorite films. It came out in 1959 with Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint, and it's about a New York City advertising executive who goes on the run after being mistaken for a government agent by a group of foreign spies and falls for the woman whose loyalties he begins to doubt. A couple of trivia pieces about this, which are actually on the making of on the bonus sections of the DVD, is that, and somebody had very nicely typed it all up into the trivia section on IMDb. It said that Cary Grant found the screenplay baffling, and midway through the movie told Sir Alfred Hitchcock, I kept forgetting he got knighted, it's a terrible script. We've already done a third of the picture, and I still can't make head or tail of it. Hitchcock then knew this confusion would only help the movie. After all, Grant's character had no idea what was going on either. So Grant thought that the movie would be a flop right up until its premiere, where it was rapturously received. So that's really cool. But it really is a confusing plot. You've got no idea. This is one of Hitchcock's best movies that I have seen. And this is probably why I absolutely love it, because it keeps you guessing. It keeps you guessing. And this other piece of trivia I absolutely love, and you guys will get it within the first sentence of what it has. It said this movie has been referred to as the first James Bond film due to its similarities with the splishy, splashy, colorful settings, secret agents, and elegant, daring, wisecracking leading man opposite a sinister yet strangely charming villain. Great way to describe a James Bond movie. Because I would always get confused about, and this next sentence will help clarify things a little bit, because I would always get confused when watching this scene from North by Northwest and then also watching it in a particular James Bond movie. The crop duster scene inspired the helicopter chase in From Russia with Love in 1963. And another Bond nod to this film is the convertible sleeping compartment scene used in a slightly different way in the 1973 007 film Live and Let Die. And so I guess that's why I kind of like North by Northwest so much, because it has it has similarities to James Bond movies, even though it came out before James Bond even hit the big screen. Because this movie came out in 1950, where is it? North by Northwest. 1959. The first James Bond movie didn't come out till 1962. So there's like 3 years difference in there. And the two movies they're talking about, Russia with Love, came out in 1963. It was the second James Bond movie, and Live and Let Die was Roger Moore's first James Bond movie in 1973. I remember correctly, Live and Let Die was his first one. Yeah. So seeing those similarities between, because I always get, there's times I get myself confused, because I remember the crop duster chasing, I remember the helicopter chasing, and I often get them mixed up, because then I'm like going, okay, now there's that James Bond movie that has that helicopter chaser. No, it's a crop duster. No, it's a helicopter. And I go backwards and forward. How many times have I seen From Russia with Love? I don't know. I've lost count over the years. But I always get mixed up. Is it a crop duster? And then I get to see the movie. No, it's a helicopter. Where the heck did the crop duster come from? And then I look at the cover, and then I see the cover of North by Northwest, and it's got the crop duster coming in behind on the cover of the DVD. I'm like, that's where the crop duster is. And I kind of made the connection. I wonder if they were who copied who? Well, that one came out later. This one came out earlier. So obviously James Bond is copying that one. Bingo, right here in the thing. It says that, and when the first sentence there, due to similarities with splishy, splashy colors, splashily colorful settings, secret agents, and elegant, daring, wisecracking leading man. I thought, yeah, Cary Grant definitely fits that role in this movie. Opposite a sinister yet strangely charming villain. I thought, yeah, a lot of the James Bond villains are strangely charming in their own way. Some of them are sort of like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with them, but others are very charming in their own way. And so, yeah. So I was kind of, yeah, I always get those two mixed up when I think about it. So get to watch North by Northwest tonight. So looking forward to that. And we'll be back tomorrow evening to tell you guys more about it. But this is, like I said, one of my favorite Hitchcock films. Absolutely love this movie. How many times have I seen it? I don't know. It has been a while since I have seen it, because every time I watch it, I can never remember the ending. It's one of those movies that's got so many twists and turns in it that when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, is it? No. And then I'm like second guessing myself as to what happens. And I'm just like, just sit back, kick back and relax and watch the movie. And for whatever reason, the ending is always a surprise to me, because I can never remember how the film ends. So, yeah, I can never remember how the film ends in North by Northwest, or how he figures everything out, or everything gets sorted. I can never remember how that gets done. So you can see how often there is between viewings, because I can't remember the ending of it. So looking forward to being able to do that this evening. So with that, we are out of here. Going to go take the movie is, I think it's around 2 hours. Let's see. North by Northwest is 2 hours and 16 minutes. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one tonight. So we might go for a walk a little earlier, although I'm not quite sure, because it got to 111 today. On Celsius side, that's about 44 or 45 degrees centigrade, I think. 111 Fahrenheit to see is 44 degrees Celsius. So 111 Fahrenheit or 44 degrees Celsius is our high today, and it's probably still very close to that. And thankfully, I have my my water bottles that I take with me. I had to get some new water bottles for my bum bag that I put on when we go for walks on evenings when that's very warm temperatures, like in the high 90s. I got some new stainless steel bottles because the ones in there were plastic and I don't know where they are. I've lost them since last summer. They're in the house somewhere. So this time, and plus the sun, when you walk in the sun would heat them up. So now I actually have insulated stainless steel bottles there, and got them in my little bum bag, and we can go off and walk. And we actually used them last night. Zeffie was very relieved to get some water, even though we hadn't been walking that long. Just shows you how hot it was out there, because she was looking for water very early on in our walk. So she got some water. We walked a little bit further and then went home. Yes, our evening walks are a lot shorter than our morning walks, because our morning walks is a lot cooler. We get to walk a little longer, and in the evenings, not so much. So we're going to go for a not so much long walk. And you ready for your walk there, Zeffie girl? Yeah, we'll still probably do it around 7 o'clock. So we've got another 45 minutes before we do that. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. If you have seen, in the comments, what is your favorite Donald Sutherland character, film that you have seen him, film or TV show that you have seen him in? What is your favorite? Yeah, what is your favorite character that you have seen him play? So let's share that in the comments below. Also, too, what is your favorite scene from To Catch a Thief, if you have watched it? If you have watched North by Northwest, what is your favorite scene in that one? So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konara.